everybody, it's Renai. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So this is kind of a continuation from my question and answer Q&A video that I did. I'll have that up here for you guys. It's a little bit long, but it's cut into sections if you are interested in anything specifically about me or K-pop or YouTube or music or whatever. I mentioned that I have 30 tattoos. Then I recounted. I think I'm at 29 or 28. Like, I just get confused when I can't see all of them, so I get confused. But I think it's 29 or 30. But I said I would do a tattoo video if anyone was interested, so this is that. Now, fair warning, I'm so bad at taking pictures of my tattoos, and some of them are quite old at this point, so they're like, if you don't have tattoos, they like wear down the ink, so some of it's faded a lot, and it can make it really hard to see them as well. So some of these photos I'm going to be showing you are from before when I was getting them originally, and some of them I've just taken, so they're a little bit older. Either way, let's get into it. Okay, so my first tattoo I will put here, but it is this one. It is the Legend of Zelda Triforce. So what it means is power, wisdom, and courage, and the colors represent those as well, kind of like Harry Potter. Legend of Zelda being my favorite video game. My entire life up until K-pop has been dedicated to the Legend of Zelda. So that is why I have that. It originally started as just the black part, and then I went back for the color. It's not in great shape at this point. You can see like that red is so bad. Uh, but yeah, that was one of my first tattoos. I got my first tattoo at age 15. 15. I got my first piercing at 13, other than my like normal lobe piercings, like the ones I got as a baby. But then I got my nose pierced when I was 13, and then I just wanted more, so I got a couple of other ear piercings, but we'll get into that. And also in this photo is the tattoo on my other wrist, which is obviously the Deathly Hallows from Harry Potter. So, of course, you guys know I love Harry Potter. I loved it enough to get it, and it matched. So there's two triangles on my wrists. The wit beyond measure is man's greatest treasure. Quote from Ravenclaw from Luna Lovegood, which you guys know about as well. That one, I don't remember when I got it. Actually, it was years after. Like, I must have gotten my Deathly Hallows when I was 15 as well, maybe 16, and then didn't get the quote until I was 19, 18, 19. But basically, this whole like this whole part of my arm, this forearm, is going to be Harry Potter themed. So I'll show you the other one on my wrist. It's that. It's basically like if you look at it at a certain angle, it's like a heart, like a doo-doo heart, and then a number 3, which is my favorite number, and a couple of other things that I just created. Like, I just wrote that down on a piece of paper one day and was like, I'm gonna get that tattooed. This is actually tattooed by my ex-boyfriend. I have a couple of those because when we used to live together, he had a tattoo gun, so I was addicted to tattoos. I just got tattoos all the time, and he did them, and he had never tattooed in his life, so that's why they're so crap. I have some tattoos on my fingers by him as well. These ones actually fared up pretty well. And then I have the heart on my opposite my ring finger, so my right side. Those ones I actually really like. They're fading a little bit for sure, but I touched them up so many times. I feel like there was a point where I touched them up every week just because I could. And then we've got over on this side, I'll put the picture up, but it's kind of better from afar now just because of how old it is 2 roses. I was so disappointed when I was getting this tattoo. I was 16 when I got it, and it was my first big tattoo, my first tattoo that was like really apparent. And I was so excited for it, but I wanted it to be blue roses and really realistic and everything. I still love it, but the roses are too small because I couldn't really afford anything bigger. And I hope to kind of improve on it and grow it out all across my shoulder, I guess, one day, and add some blue to it somehow. And then on my other side over here is my Cancer symbol. So I'll put a picture of that. Again, it's fading. It's not that old, but it's fading because it's such thin lines. It is the Cancer symbol, which is like the I'll show you the Cancer symbol, but the Cancer symbol as waves because water is the element for Cancer, which is my zodiac sign, and again, blue, water, wisdom, like it all kind of goes together. Ravenclaw, it's a big part of me. And then we'll go to my elbow, which wraps around. I have a couple of photos of it, but it wraps around my elbow. It is a, I don't know, it's interesting. I saw somebody's flash art on Instagram and they had that, but the flowers were pink. And I asked them if they could make them orange because that is the color of a wallflower. And Perks of Being a Wallflower is one of my favorite books and movies. And so I'm going to add a quote there. I'm not going to tell you which one, but I'm going to add a quote, not I swear we were infinite or whatever, not that one. But I'm going to add a quote there eventually somehow, but it wraps around my elbow. I like it. It was done by an apprentice, so it's actually not that great, but I like it. A lot of my tattoos are done by apprentices. I like to help them out. And also, I was a broke high school/college kid or university kid. Next, we have my pine tree, which is like on my arm right here. It's dot work, so it goes from dot work, so it's really faded at the bottom. It's supposed to be like that into this like darker top. It's an image I fell in love with online, totally just bit it and was like, I'm gonna copy exactly what I saw online and got it. I was 16 when I got it. And then we have the thing right above my pine tree. It wraps around my arm, but it has like a little slit here. I'm actually putting something through that eventually, but again, it's something I saw somebody's flash art, just like flash in their shop, and I just liked it, and I wanted it, and I got it. This whole sleeve with the Legend of Zelda is going to be a full Legend of Zelda sleeve up until my shoulder. So that is a big, big cost. Oh, big cost, but I already have it like designed. I've had it pretty much designed since I was 12. So it's just getting the money and getting the right artist and then I'll have that done. And then I'll actually look like I have tattoos because there's one or two things that happen. Either people think I'm covered in tattoos because I have a couple on this arm, or people think I have absolutely no tattoos at all. So I would like to just look like I am covered in tattoos and eventually like to be covered in tattoos. Okay, we're getting really casual. So yeah, that part of my arm, I have this butterfly tattoo that was like a darker. I would never want a like basic butterfly tattoo, but I saw this one. It was just really dark because it's full black. The way that she did it was really interesting. She did all the black and everything, and then she poured black ink on it, so it went right into the skin, and that's how it stays so black. So that one's really, I don't think it's gonna fade anytime soon, which I'm really happy about. Her shop was actually, there's so many tattoo shops in Toronto, and I've been to almost all of them because I don't really have a specific artist. I hope so now, but due to the pandemic, we're shut down, so I don't know if I can go back to the person that did my biggest tattoo, which I'll show you later. The black butterfly one was done in a shipping container. We have this like area downtown in Toronto where there are a bunch of shipping container shops. Like people put shipping containers down and made them into shops, and there's a tattoo shop in one of those. So it's like this little box, but it's a tattoo studio. It's so weird. It was very cool though. And then we have it's really hard to see in the photos, but it is a One Tree Hill tattoo. So like I said in the Q&A, that's one of my favorite shows. I didn't mention that Boy Meets World is also one of my favorite shows of all time, and I plan on getting the paper airplane from the intro tattooed as well as soon as I can. Sorry, my cat is really annoying. But it's a One Tree Hill tattoo. It says, "People always leave," which is a quote from Peyton on the show. And it has a comet and it has a bunch of hills with one pine tree at the top. And the comet is very important for the story as well. So it's one of my favorite tattoos, and it actually is holding up pretty well. And then on right next to that is this circle with little lines. It's actually Monty Ohm's signature. So Monty Ohm was a creator. He was an animator. He did a lot of things, and he passed away a couple of years ago. Oh God, it must have been a while now. And he was a big part of the company Rooster Teeth, which I have been a fan of since 2012. And when he passed, it was really hard. He's like a genius. He created the series RWBY, if you've ever heard or seen that. So his signature, the O and the squiggles actually make his name. There's Monty at the top and then Ohm at the bottom. And it's supposed to look like birds in a sunset. So I actually have a photo of that, I believe. So I'll put that up there. It's such a creative signature. and he was just such an artistic genius, and he went because of an allergic reaction during surgery. It was very sudden and should not have happened because it was not a serious surgery. But yeah, his influence and creativity and quotes, like I think he had a very, what was it, keep moving forward. That was the thing that he said all the time to people about life, just keep moving forward. And he was just very inspirational. So I got that tattooed 2 years ago now. And then we have this puzzle piece tattoo that's there. It's not great. Again, another ex-boyfriend tattoo. I'm not even going to get into it, but it's not great. I don't like it. I want to cover it with something similar, another puzzle piece, because I always want to work with people who are mentally disabled, have autism, on that spectrum. I just would love to do that one day in some capacity. So that's why that's there. The short explanation, at least. And then behind my arm over here, I have a Studio Ghibli tattoo. So it's Calcifer from the movie Howl's Moving Castle. And then the little soots from Spirited Away. Are they in Howl's Moving Castle? I can't even remember. But they're holding their little candy. And it's like, I made it kind of where it's trailing from Calcifer. So it's almost like Calcifer's ash, if it was fire, are the soots. And then we have this tattoo behind my ear. I can't even remember. I could not tell you which ear it is, but it's behind my ear. And it's a little matchstick that's lit on fire. And then we have my big piece over here on my rib cage. It says, break my bones, I don't need them where I'm going. And with the crossbones in the middle. So that is a song lyric from The Deer Hunter from their Untitled track. I'll actually put like a link in the description if you want to hear the song, but it's the opening lines to that song, and I just fell in love with them. I love The Deer Hunter, first of all. Second, break my bones, I don't need them where I'm going. I am very morbid. You'll learn that very quickly here, but I am very morbid, like not obsessed with death, but like I'm very dark. I don't mind talking about death and things like that. So that's weird to admit to people. But break my bones, I don't need them where I'm going kind of just means we're all going to die one day. And, you know, this body is like whatever. Like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. So I have my favorite word, which is vulgarity. It looks like it says vidgarity because it's cursive and the U and the L touch. So I kind of showed you here. It's not what that says. It says vulgarity. And that might be really weird for you guys, but like I'm, like I said, I'm very morbid. Vulgarity is my favorite word because honestly, I love to curse. I swear like a sailor all the time. I love being morbid and just darker and whatever. And people would consider me very vulgar in real life. I'm just like, I'm an open book. I don't really think before I talk usually. So this channel has trained me a little bit, or at least I can edit things out. But there is a quote from John Bailey. I have it up here because I literally never remember this quote, but it's what made me fall in love with this word. He is a British, or he was a British academic, literary critic, blah, blah, blah. But he said, the term vulgarity can never be self-referential because to be aware of vulgarity is to display a degree of sophistication, which thereby alleviates the subject above the vulgar. Long story short, you can't really be everybody's vulgar is essentially what they're saying, because if you are going to call yourself vulgar, then you're already past the point where you are above being vulgar because you can understand it. And that's a very complicated way of saying that we're all the same. We all have same messed up minds in some respect. It's also a word that was like coined or used very much in the Victorian era, which is a big part of my studies and my interests. So it's kind of hard to explain, but that is my favorite word meaning and that quote from John Bailey. Right above that, so right under my armpit kind of, is this little Pusheen, which I'm sure a lot of you know Pusheen from, I don't know, I remember when Pusheen were like stickers on Facebook, but it's a little cat eating cookies because obviously cats and cookies are one of my favorite snacks. I'm just obsessed with cookies. And when I say that, I mean, really, there was a period of time in my life where I wouldn't eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I would only eat Oreo cookies. Sounds terrible. I don't know how I'm still kicking, but I did that. I didn't gain too much weight at that point. Now I've gained weight, but back then when I was just eating Oreo cookies, that was just my diet. It was like my diet was just cookies. Guys, you're gonna learn a lot about me. On my thigh, like really high up, is my carnation. Carnation is my favorite flower. That's about it. So I have this little sun really low on my lower back. It's very tiny. It has a little like S at the top instead of a ray for the sun. That is for one of my best friends. She is my son. She got into an accident a couple of years ago now, and I got it shortly after that. She's okay now, but it was a very scary, very, very scary, serious time. And I don't know, tattoos are my way of expressing things of that importance. So I got that for her. Right under that, I have this tattoo that says Let's Play. Kind of flirtatious, but also for video games, Let's Play. I used to watch Let's Play channels all the time. Rooster Teeth has to do with that. Achievement Hunter, if you know what I'm talking about. But Let's Play, like gaming, watching people game, me gaming, that is a big part of my life. So it's a little cheeky, but it's also to do with that. And right before K-pop, that was all I was about. So K-pop kind of came in and went, you don't get to make decisions anymore. And then we have my biggest tattoo, which is my Jack the Ripper inspired piece, which sounds probably very, very morbid to you guys, but you've learned already at this point. It is Jack the Ripper. It's like a skull with a top hat, Victorian era. It has London in the background, in the hat, and then it has Jack the Ripper in the center. It says at the bottom, from hell, because Jack the Ripper wrote this letter, and it was called the From Hell letter because his signature on it was From Hell, Jack the Ripper, instead of like sincerely Jack the Ripper. I am obsessed with true crime, murder mysteries, Victorian era, especially crime in the Victorian era. I did a lot of my schooling on that subject because I was so interested in it. And then on my other side of my thigh, I actually plan on juxtaposing it a little bit, kind of like my sleeves will be, because my Harry Potter will be all black and gray and my Legend of Zelda will be all color. I'm going to juxtapose my thighs with the black and gray Jack the Ripper piece, and then on the other side I'm going to have Belle from Beauty and the Beast. After that we have this little circle thing, and it's a girl reading a book in like an anime style. This was done by Antonio, this guy named Antonio in Toronto, who used to specialize, he's branching out now, in these little circular art pieces. Like you would put like Van Gogh's paintings in these little circles and they would be really crisp and sharp. And then we have my snake in a bottle. I love snakes. I want a snake so bad. My boyfriend won't let me have one because he does not like snakes. And we have cats in a small apartment. Like, it's not a good idea, but one day I'm getting me a fucking snake. I'm just saying it. I don't remember when I got this. Maybe 16, 17, 17? I don't know. But Snake in the Bottle, it was again a flash piece I just liked. And then we have my Pokemon tattoos. I have Dragonair, which is my favorite Pokemon. It's in like this watercolor style. Now, listen, this tattoo was on like some list online of the worst Pokemon tattoos, and I understand why. It's because it doesn't show well on my skin. Like watercolor tattoos are very, very cool. I like mine a lot. I don't think it was executed as well as it could have been, but it's the style that I wanted to go to. It came out exactly how the picture was when I first got it, but it just doesn't show up on my skin as well because I don't think the artist was very good at working with darker skin. Either way, I'm still happy with it. On the other side, I have Gengar in a stick and poke type, or in dot work as well. I really like dot work. I would love to have more, but yeah, Gengar on the other side, that's my other favorite Pokemon. On my foot, I have my third tattoo that I ever got. So I was 16. It's like a heartbeat with a music note. It's a matching tattoo with my mom and my aunt. This one's like my only like dedication to music, my heart beats for music kind of thing on my foot. And then on my other ankle, on the other side, I have this crescent moon. Again, darkness, moonlight, nighttime, all coming together. Again, another tattoo done by my ex-boyfriend, but it's really, really good. It has not faded at all. It's very clean lines. I'm pretty sure it was done freehand and it looks great. And then I missed this one, but on my like lower stomach, like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. On my very lower stomach, I have Shinigami written in Japanese kanji. Confirmed it says Shinigami. That is purely because of my obsession with death. So if you haven't seen the show, the anime Death Note, I am obsessed with it. Makes sense. And Shinigami are the gods of death in that world, and in Japanese culture they are associated with death, and I wanted Shinigami on me. I also want Misa Amane tattoo as well at some point, I also want a Leonardo DiCaprio style tattoo from Romeo and Juliet. I also want my Boy Meets World, like I said. There's so many tattoos I want. I want the labyrinth on my back. I have no tattoos on my back. It's crazy. It's like the only really blank area. I have a lot of plans for tattoos and not a lot of money to get it done. So we'll see in the future. And then quick, because this video has been way too long, but I have piercings as well. I have, what, 10, 11, depending on how you say it. I don't know. I have my industrial pierced, my tragus, my conch, my cartilage. I have double belly button piercings. I have the top, which is the normal one, and I have the bottom, which they literally pierce like through your skin. There's no little flap there to go through. You have to like do it like a surface piercing almost. So I got my belly button pierced when I was 16. I went during a field trip and I didn't tell my family and I just got it done. Because when you're 16 in Toronto, you can just get your piercings done. You don't need permission from a parent. And I went home and my mom almost ripped it out because she thought it was fake. But at that point, I already had so many other piercings that they kind of just were like, whatever, what can we do? I have my 3 nose piercings. So I have one on each side, to like one hoop, and then one stud in the back. Again, started with just one piercing and I just kept getting them. And then I have all my lobes pierced. I have 3 on each ear, but some of them are closing up. Actually, in this picture, you can see on my ear, I had 2 more piercings up here that didn't work out. They started migrating out of my skin, which is a thing that happens if you don't have piercings. And yeah, they just never really healed right. It was actually kind of traumatic. the jewelry kind of got stuck in this big swollen mess on my ear. Anyways, that was a much longer video than I thought because I had more stories to tell than I thought I did, and you know I ramble. But that was all my tattoos. I think I got all of them. I don't think I missed any, but it's totally possible. I'm pretty sure that is all of them. Pretty sure. It's really not that many at the end of the day. More to come, hopefully, in the future. And now you know some of the stories behind them. And I take pain very well. I always have ever since getting piercings and tattoos at a younger age. I've never had a problem with it, so I'm just ready to get pretty covered. I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm sorry it was so long. I really wanted to get through it as quickly as possible, but yeah, that's not my style. So thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.